Beyond by Anna Badolati. The work is a sculpture of a torso in which the dominant colours are dark white and dark orange. With You It Is Possible by February YSJ. This work was awarded the second prize for students enrolled in Italian institutions. This short animation illustrates two characters, one blind and one paralysed, lost in a desert. The two have only one desire, which is to quench their thirst. The paralytic sees an oasis he can't reach and asks for help from the blind man's legs. The blind man manages to reach the water thanks to the vocal indications the paralytic provides. This collaboration allows both to reach the oasis, thus achieving a shared dream. Regardless of one's limitations, everyone possesses enormous potential. Believing in yourself and trusting others can work true miracles and challenge every limit. Beyond the Eyes by Alice Bertolazzi. Beyond the eyes, peace sits, with leather salt perfume, sweet soap frame draped in tears. Rise again, up. In a bud, wooden strength, in a contact lens, the life of the glass. You, who take in the black, the shadows care. There, two doors, two white rooms. Beyond, hold on, is love. The work comprises white leather painted on oval glass and contact lens with ochre pigment in rectangular frame of 10 by 13 by 1.5 centimetres, hung on the wall at a height of 160 centimetres from ground level. Disability Pride, Independent Life by Luca Aliane Casadio and Miriana Giordano. This work was awarded the first equal prize for students from Italian institutions. The work consists in a boxed set of cards which have been conjoined accordion style. Each card depicts a figure with raised arms. One is proud when one perceives the uniqueness of one's own person. The characters' raised arms represent their success in becoming realised as people. The work stems from our search for mental and relational rehabilitation of illustrious men, all affected by Asperger's syndrome. Their disability was not a limit, but a strength in becoming the most effective people in the fields where their genius is expressed. Puzzle by Adelaide Cascia and Camilla Medici. The video uses a metaphor in order to demonstrate how communications have no limits in human relationships because any interaction is possible. Free Yourself by Magda Chiarelli. There are different kinds of disabilities, more or less visible from the outside, but all of them are about crossing a real or psychological wall, which the disabled person finds more limiting than so-called normal people, so much so that they often don't consider that wall a limit. The daily struggle to move on step by step, new one freedom by new one freedom, starts right here. Untitled, or Washington Square Park, by Bartolomeo Ciccone. The work comprises a photograph and a painting. The painting and the photograph both depict two lovers who were listening to a concert in Washington Square Park in New York in 2011. They are a couple where her disability, represented by a wheelchair, turns symbolically into a point of support for the partner who rests his arms on it. So the disability is experienced spontaneously by both of them with pride and independence. Memory by Angelo Pio D'Angelo. The work is an invitation to the contemplation of time that wears the body and the mind. Organic matter goes towards decomposition. What remains is a last fleeting and weak memory. The work comprises chalk and a clock.
Le mani, un strumento importantissimo per l'arte. The hands are the most important instruments for art. Se le mani avesse due pollici, cosa cambierebbe? If hands had to have two thumbs, what would change? Cambiamo il gioco. Let's change game. Se lo standard e la normalità, mani diversi, sarebbero una sfida. If it came to standards and normality, diverse hands would be a challenge. Comunicare per superare la difficoltà attraverso il dialogo. Communicate for a higher level of difficulty across the dialogue. Condivisione delle idee attraverso il gioco. The sharing of the actual ideas across the game. Alla fine, il numero delle dita non è più importante. In the end, the number of fingers would no longer matter.
Cat's Cradle by Alice Darold. This work was awarded a special prize offered by the Italian local government. The work consists in hands with 5 or 6 fingers joined by threads. It doesn't matter how many fingers you're born with. The important thing is to find a way to communicate with others. The hands with 6 fingers represent diversity as seen from the outside. The hands with only 5 fingers mean that the majority makes the standard for normality. But the threads that represent action unite them together no matter the number of fingers. We Rise by Kerry Fox. The work was awarded a special prize offered by the firms Amicucci and Maineri. The work is an installation. Constructed using 19 years of documents detailing my son's disabilities, clinical negligence, health and social care, education, and bundles from Sendist tribunals. We Rise illustrates navigating a very officious system to ensure my son reaches his goals, his life choices, and ultimately his independence. Day by Day by Chloe Fryatt. This work was awarded the 3rd prize for students enrolled in British institutions. The work consists in a series of photographs. These images are a documentation of my Nana's life, what she gets up to daily, and the things she has to do. She has encountered many difficult times in her life, yet she's still one of the most supporting people I know. Here I wanted to document her and her life. The Colours of the Soul by Giada Giovannetti. This artwork aims to depict the struggle that many people affected by disabilities are obliged to live with. Inside every single one of them there's a soul, though, which requires them to be free, independent, and which has the power to break the threads of fear. Take a Second Look at Disability by Louise Hogarth. This work was awarded the 2nd prize for students enrolled in British institutions. The work consists in a series of vases following the ancient Greek style. I have taken the shape of the perfect Greek vase, which is usually decorated with perfect gladiators, and purposely altered them to be imperfect. I have decorated them with imperfect disability images. The viewer has to look closely to spot the difference. I wanted the observer to look again, look deeper, not to just take what they see at face value. The Inner and Outer Edges of Silence by Francesca King. This work was awarded the first prize for students from British institutions. As a child, I would give no voice to my thoughts for days on end. I consumed myself with rage and refused to look outwards. When I got older, I learned to sign British Sign Language to communicate the emotion. I still retreat to silence, looking for the changes in weather and clouds to guide moments of overheating.
A voi!
Sì, dai.
Pronte? A voi!
Giù, concentrata, lì, subito,
Pronte? A voi!
Sì, lì, dai.
Pronte? A voi!
Anche di contro, terza contro.
Life is a Ball by Michael Mancini. This work was awarded the third prize for students enrolled in Italian institutions. This artwork is a video piece in which virtual reality animates the Torso del Belvedere, a masterpiece which always owed its charm to part of it being missing, interrupted by the action of time. Today, thanks to technology, it comes back to life and becomes alive. It suddenly finds itself involved in an absurd fencing assault with the simulation of a Paralympic athlete who has no arms or legs. Renaissance by Rebecca Miccio. Disability is nothing but the wings of a beautiful albatross, as in Baudelaire, which is only to be freed from its awkwardness by flying. To overcome the limits, free from what forces him, to be oneself in everything and for everything, to hatch, to blossom. The independence of freedom is the most cathartic experience a human being can have.
Labile by Passarelli Rita. The work represents an ear in the act of melting. Labile intended for a rapid disappearance or imminent dissolution. The work was designed and made of wax, white, ephemeral and delicate material like our senses. Labile, therefore, speaks to us of the disintegration of the senses in time, which fade away like wax.
DBO, or Don't Burn Out, by Max Reitz. After 2 years working as an educational tutor and health assistant for a person with an almost total physical disability, the relationship fell into a burnout situation. My work is a print, which is a handmade silkscreen on adhesive paper, criticizing the meme that fills the social network.
Independent Life by Claudio Santelli. The work is inspired by Independent Life in the Vertical Dimension of the Third Paradise by Michelangelo Pistoletto. The work by Pistoletto represents the integration between nature and science. My work is comprised of 3 rings. The 2 peripheral rings take the form of 2 archaic wheels, which are no longer necessary because an independent life is being realized in the vertical dimension with the central ring.
The King and the Fool by Nicholas Steiner. The king and the fool live in the same place. While hours pass by, slow and overwhelming, he waits for his lunch. Then he waits for dinner, and then he waits to sleep and dream. The pale yellow and light turquoise keep the mind calm and lucid. So in this synthetic light and stale air, the king thinks about what he could do to save his realm. Hringer by Sarazaghetto. My artwork consists in a series of jewels, created from different alloys, stones, shell, and organic materials. Hringer is an Icelandic word which means rings, objects that symbolically seal bonds, emphasizing the sharing of the wearer's intentions. The series is inspired by the seascape, which in its vastness brings to mind a multitude of possibilities, dreams, and promises. Dance by Guglielmo Zamparelli. This work was awarded the first equal prize for students from Italian institutions. My work is based on an exact copy of the work by Matisse called Dance, which is an oil on canvas of 2.6 by 3.91 meters. Matisse used only 3 colors: green, blue, and red. There are 5 characters who dance naked on top of the world, forming a circle by holding hands, and only the 2 characters in the foreground have yet to join hands. But, in my work, the dancers all bear an artificial prosthetic limb. My work is an acrylic on canvas of 1.5 by 1 meters.